I'm here with Dave Harner, Director of Golf at French Lick Golf and Resort. So we're here at the Pete Dye Mansion in French Lick, Indiana. How was Pete Dye chosen to be the architect here?
Pete came late to the game. We had interviewed a lot of other name architects long before Pete. And one day Mr. Ferguson got a call from Mrs. Dye. And Mrs. Dye wanted to know why Pete hadn't been considered. So actually it was Alice who approached us, and so he met Pete up in Martinsville and invited him to come down and look at the property. And the first time we toured it, he actually said we couldn't build a golf course up here because it was too severe, and then he came back the next day and decided that he probably could.
So what were some of the challenges whenever you made it on the mountain that we're on now?
Well, a lot of dirt got moved, of course. We moved somewhere around 2.5 million cubic yards of dirt, and that's one of the challenges. Drainage is another, because there are a lot of underground springs, and you move drainage from one place to another, and then the spring breaks out somewhere else. So we're constantly chasing the springs and the landslides, finding good sand. We hauled I don't know how many thousands of truckloads of sand here to cap the fairways because there's no good sand in this area. So those were a couple of the things.
When was it finished?
We started in '06, finished in April of '09, almost right at 3 years.
So the Pete Dye course has an interesting fact about it and how it was designed. What was the original sketch made on?
Pete and I walked the golf course twice. The first time he said he couldn't build a course here. The second time we walked the golf course, and he had a map with elevations, topo map. And he had circled the 36 highest points. So we walked to each one of those 36 points. We finished and we went over to a local restaurant here in town. He pulled out a napkin from the napkin holder and drew lines, little circles, and he said, now here's the green, here's the tee, and here's your golf course. So he gave it to me, and I hauled it around in my car for like a month. And all of a sudden I realized that that's all we got. That was the drawing. He didn't do architect's drawings so much. He did it on the napkin. And I got to tell you, the design didn't change. The way he laid the golf course out the day that we walked it the second time, he didn't change it after that. Well, here's the napkin that I spoke of, and the course layout. As you can see here, is pretty similar. This is actually what he drew here was the lake that we do irrigation from, and he was showing me how he was going to do the stones around the outside of the lake. And this is actually the clubhouse and mansion, this little scribbly thing here. But like I said, ran around I rode around my car with it for a month, didn't really think about it, and I figured for $1 million this was all we get. And, we never had a contract with Pete. The deal was pretty simple. He said, if you like the golf course, pay me $1 million. If you don't like the golf course, don't pay me anything. So we did pay him.
So the tips here are 8,100 yards. What's the course record from the 8,100 yard tees?
We only had 2 under par rounds, 71s by Greg Bowden and by an assistant here, Adam Marshall. Those were the only 2 under par rounds that I'm aware of from the 8,100 yard league.
This is the Taggart Mansion.
Right.
Can you tell us some of the history behind that?
Well, it was actually built by Tom Taggart Sr. for his son Thomas Jr. So his family could come down and spend time here at the resort and have sort of a country setting. Built in 1929, and in 1931 this supposedly is where the big party took place that convinced Franklin Roosevelt to run for president. It was in this very house.
And then out on the driveway coming up to the golf course, there's a statue of Peter the Great.
Peter the Great, yeah. He was a horse that Mr. Taggart purchased back in the 20s, early 20s maybe. And back at that time he brought $50,000, which was a tremendous price for anything at that time. But I guess he was a great trotting horse, and every trotter today, I'm told, has some of that bloodline somewhere in their pedigree.